My parents told my 14-year-old daughter there was no room for her at Thanksgiving dinner. Not no room in the house, not no room in the driveway, no room at the table. My mother said it with a smile, like she was explaining a seating chart at a wedding, instead of telling a child she did not belong. My brother laughed and said, "She can eat in the den. It is not a punishment, it is just practical." My daughter called me from the front porch, with her voice shaking so badly I could barely understand her. I was still in scrubs, sitting in my car outside the hospital after a 16-hour shift, holding the phone with one hand and a half-eaten protein bar with the other. "Mom," she whispered, "Grandma said the main table is for the real family this year." I did not scream. I did not drive over there and kick the door in. I did not give them the scene they were waiting for. I just said, "Understood." The next morning, my mother found a legal notice taped to the front door of the house she had hosted Thanksgiving in. The house she thought I was just helping with. The house she forgot was mine. My name is Mara Ellis. I am 41 years old, and I have worked as a respiratory therapist for almost 19 years. I spend most of my life helping people breathe when their bodies forget how, and that job has taught me one thing about families. The people who love you show up quietly. The people who want control make sure everyone hears them. My daughter, Lily, is the best thing in my life. She is 14, serious in the way girls become serious when they have had to read the room too early. She loves astronomy, black hoodies, strawberry milk, and pretending she does not care when I tuck her hair behind her ear. Her father, Daniel, died when she was 6. I do not say that for sympathy. I say it because everything that happened started there, with the money he left behind and the house I bought with it. Daniel was a contractor, not rich, not flashy, not the kind of man who ever said things like investment portfolio without smirking. But he was careful. He had life insurance because his father died young and scared him into paperwork. When he passed, I was left with a grief I could not carry, and a check I could barely look at. For months, I did not touch it. It sat in an account while I worked double shifts and slept in 3-hour pieces. My parents kept saying, "You need to do something smart with that money." By smart, they meant helpful. My parents had lost their house that same year. Not suddenly, not unfairly, not because of one bad week. They lost it because my father had spent years treating bills like suggestions, and my mother had treated late notices like rude opinions. They refinanced twice, borrowed against everything, then acted betrayed when the bank remembered the bank part of being a bank. My younger brother Caleb could not help. Caleb has always been in transition, between jobs, business ideas, and almost profitable schemes my parents treated like medical breakthroughs. Caleb was their golden child, not because he was successful, because he was not, and somehow that made him more precious. He always needed saving, and saving him gave my parents purpose. I was different. I was the practical one, the steady one, the one who could work another shift, cover another bill, drive another hour, make another call. So when their foreclosure became final, they came to me. My mother cried at my kitchen table. My father stared at the wall like a war veteran, even though the only battle he had fought was against automatic payments. Caleb sat there with his arms crossed, saying it was humiliating for them to rent at their age. "You have that money," my mother said softly. That money. Not Daniel's money, not Lily's future, not the last thing my husband did for us before the world took him. That money. I should have said no. Instead, I bought a small 3-bedroom house on Marigold Lane, not their old house. That was gone. This one was smaller, quieter, with a maple tree out front and a kitchen that smelled faintly of lemon cleaner no matter what you cooked. The deed was in my name. The insurance was in my name. The taxes came to me. I told my parents they could live there while they got back on their feet. That was 8 years ago. 8 years of just until spring. 8 years of me paying property tax, repairs, half the utilities, emergency plumbing, new water heater, roof patch, termite inspection, and one ridiculous $900 bill because my father flushed paper towels and then blamed the pipes for being dramatic. At first, I told myself I was doing it for Lily. She loved that house. She had yellow curtains in the small back bedroom and glow-in-the-dark stars on the ceiling. There were good moments there, and good moments are dangerous because they make the bad ones look like misunderstandings. But the longer my parents lived there, the more they acted like the house was theirs. Our place became the family house. Caleb stored boxes in the garage. His wife, Vanessa, used the guest room whenever they fought. Their twins slept over twice a month. One summer, my mother gave them Lily's yellow room just for the weekend and never really gave it back. After that, Lily stopped wanting to spend the night. When I asked why, she shrugged and said, "It just feels crowded." I knew what she meant. Crowded did not mean too many people. It meant no space for her. The Thanksgiving thing started 3 weeks before the holiday. My mother called while I was charting at work. I let it go to voicemail because I was standing next to a patient whose oxygen saturation was more important than whatever casserole crisis my mother had invented.
Yes, this message
The
is for the
voicemail
synthesis
said,
regarding
"Hi,
the
honey.
recent transaction.
We are doing
Please
Thanksgiving
give
at the
me a
house
call
again
back
this
at your
year.
earliest."
Caleb and Vanessa are bringing the boys, Aunt June is coming, and your father invited the Porters from church. I know you are working, but send Lily early. She can help me set up. It will be nice for her to feel included." Included. That word should have warned me. I called back later and told her I would be on shift until at least 5. She made a disappointed little sound, the kind that was not quite criticism but had been raised by criticism. "You work too much," she said. "People keep breathing wrong," I said. She did not laugh. "Well, send Lily by noon. I want her here before everyone arrives." Lily did not want to go. She was polite about it, but I could see it in the way she folded her sleeves over her hands. "Do I have to?" "It is Thanksgiving," I said. "Just a few hours. I will come straight there after work." She nodded because she is a good kid, and good kids are often punished with adult expectations. That morning, she wore a navy sweater Daniel's mother had sent her, and the little silver star necklace I gave her for her birthday. She helped me pack 2 sweet potato casseroles, and the cranberry sauce my mother always requested but never admitted she liked. "If anything feels weird, call me," I said. She rolled her eyes, but she promised. Then my neighbor drove her over because I had to be at the hospital by 6. The shift was awful. Holidays in hospitals always are. By 5:30, I was running on coffee, charting notes, and stubbornness. I checked my phone and saw 3 missed calls from Lily. That is the kind of thing that empties your body before your brain catches up. I called her back from the parking lot. She answered on the first ring. "Mom?"
The patient is
What
crashing. We
happened?
need you here.
There was wind in the background. Not indoor noise, wind. "Are you outside?" She sniffed. "I am on the porch." I was already unlocking my car. "Why are you on the porch?" She did not answer right away. When she did, her voice was flat in that terrifying way children use when they are trying not to cry. Grandma said there was no room for me at the table. My hand froze on the door handle. "What?" She said the main table is full and the den table is for the little kids. Aunt Vanessa said I could sit on the piano bench in the hallway if I wanted, but there is no plate there. I closed my eyes.
He drops back
Where
to
is
pass,
Grandpa?
scans the
Watching the game. Where is Caleb? He said I should not make everything about me. The parking lot around me went very quiet. Then Lily said the sentence I will never forget. Grandma said the main table is for the real family this year. I do not remember getting into the car. I remember the seatbelt cutting across my chest. I remember my hands on the steering wheel. I remember thinking, very clearly, do not speed, because if you get pulled over, your daughter will still be standing there. I asked Lily to stay on the phone with me. She did. For 22 minutes, she told me little pieces. She had arrived at noon, peeled potatoes, polished silverware, and carried in the casseroles I made before sunrise. Vanessa moved Lily's overnight bag from the yellow room into the laundry room because the boys need somewhere to crash after dessert. Lily found place cards on the dining table for everyone except her. When she asked, my mother sighed and said, "Sweetheart, you know how tight space is." Lily said she could sit next to me when I arrived. My mother said, "Your mother is always late. We cannot hold the family around her schedule." Then Lily asked where she should sit. That was when my mother said the den table was full too. Not because it was. Vanessa's purse had one chair, Caleb's camera bag had another. Objects had seats, my daughter did not. When Lily started crying, my brother told her she was too old for this. When she went outside, no one followed. I pulled into the driveway at 6:04 p.m. The house was glowing. Warm windows, porch lights, silhouettes moving around inside like some painting of family togetherness. There were cars up and down the curb. Laughter spilled through the walls. Lily was sitting on the top porch step, with her coat zipped to her chin. The casserole dish I had sent was beside her, empty. That detail almost broke me. They had eaten the food. They just had not made room for the child who carried it in. I got out and walked to her. She stood up fast, like she was embarrassed to be found sitting there. I put my arms around her and felt how cold her hands were. "I am sorry," she whispered. That is what she said. Sorry. Children always apologize when adults fail them. "You have nothing to be sorry for," I said. The front door opened. My mother stood there with a dish towel over one shoulder, cheeks pink from wine and kitchen heat. Behind her, I could see my father in his recliner, Caleb at the table, Vanessa laughing at something Aunt June said. My mother looked annoyed. Not guilty, not worried. Annoyed. "Mara," she said, "do not start, we are already eating." I looked past her at the dining room. The table had 12 chairs. There were 11 people sitting. The 12th chair had Vanessa's purse on it. I turned back to my mother. "Move the purse." Her face tightened. "Excuse me." "Move the purse and give Lily a plate." Caleb appeared behind her holding a beer. "Oh my God, is this really happening?" I looked at him. "Yes." He rolled his eyes. "It is one dinner. She is 14, not 4. Then she can sit at the table." My mother lowered her voice, which meant she wanted to sound reasonable to anyone listening. "There is a seating arrangement. Vanessa's parents are here. The boys are excited." Lily came in with an attitude and made it uncomfortable. Lily flinched beside me. That was the moment I stopped feeling angry. Anger is hot, this was cold. I looked at my mother, then at my brother, then at the warm little house I had paid for with my husband's death benefit and 8 years of overtime. "Understood," I said. My mother's mouth twitched. "What does that mean?" "It means we understand the arrangement." I picked up Lily's bag from the porch. She picked up her casserole dish. We walked back to the car. Behind us, my mother called, "Mara, do not be dramatic." I did not turn around. On the drive home, Lily stared out the window. She did not cry until we reached the red light by the old library. Then she covered her face with both hands and made this small, broken sound I had never heard from her before. I pulled into a gas station parking lot and held her until the light changed twice without us. That night, I made grilled cheese and tomato soup. We ate on the couch under a blanket while some old baking show played in the background. Lily fell asleep with her head on my shoulder at 9:30. I stayed awake. At 10:11, my mother texted, "You embarrassed us tonight." At 10:14, Caleb texted, "Nice job making Thanksgiving about you." At 10:19, Vanessa texted, "The boys asked why Lily hates them. Hope you are proud." I did not answer. Instead, I opened the metal file box I keep in my bedroom closet. Inside were the documents I should have used years earlier. The deed, the property tax records, the insurance policy, the utility accounts, receipts for repairs. Screenshots of every time my mother called the house ours while asking me to pay for something broken in it. And at the very back, a folder from my attorney, Claire Berman. Claire is not a dramatic person. She wears navy suits, carries peppermint tea in a travel mug, and once told me that family law would be easier if people admitted they wanted control instead of calling it love.
If we clear this
Six
area, we
months
can
before
start the
Thanksgiving,
expansion
I had
from this
met with her
corner.
because my
And
parents
sweep
had
it
started
across to the
pushing a new
fireplace.
idea.
That seems
They
wide
wanted
enough.
me to put the
If we
house
clear
into
this
the
area, we
family.
can start.
At first, it sounded vague. Then Caleb got specific. He said the house should eventually go to him because he had 2 sons and needed roots.
You can sit there
My
and wave
mother
your
said
hand all
Lily and
you
I
want,
had our
but that
apartment
doesn't
closer
change
to
the
the
fact that
hospital,
we
so
have
it
to
made
deal with
sense.
this.
My father said Daniel would have wanted me to
You can
take care
sit
of
there and wave your
family.
hand.
This is
That was the
completely
only time I raised my
unacceptable.
voice.
I will
I
not
told him not to
tolerate
put
this
my dead
behavior
husband's
from you
name in his mouth
anymore.
while trying to spend his money.
You
After
need to
that, I
leave
called
now. They're
Claire.
coming for
She
you.
reviewed everything and said, Mara, they are not confused, they are comfortable. She prepared a formal notice terminating their month-to-month tenancy, just in case I ever needed it. I did not serve it then. I told myself it was too harsh. I told myself they were old. I told myself Lily loved them. That night, I stopped telling myself things. I emailed Claire at 11:03 p.m. subject line. Serve the notice. Body, they used my house to humiliate my child. I am done. She replied at 11:17. I am sorry, I will have it posted tomorrow morning and sent certified mail. Do not engage tonight. I slept maybe 2 hours. At 8:42 the next morning, my phone started vibrating. Mom, Dad, Caleb, Mom again. Unknown number, Aunt June, Caleb, Mom. By 9:15, I had 37 missed calls. At
Hey, it's me.
9:26,
Call
my
me
mother
back as
left a
soon as you get
voicemail.
this. We need to
Her
talk.
voice was high and sharp. What is this paper on the door? Mara, what did you do? It says we have 60 days. 60 days for what? Call me right now. I listened once while drinking coffee, then I saved it.
I
My
understand
father
why you
called at
left, but
9:31. His
please, let
voicemail
me
was
explain.
slower, angrier. You do not evict your parents over a chair. I do not know what kind of poison you are letting that girl put in your head, but this is our home. That girl, my daughter. I saved that one too. At 10:04, Caleb sent a photo of the notice to the family group chat. Are you all seeing this? Mara is trying to kick Mom and Dad out of their house because Lily had to sit somewhere else for one meal. I watched the little typing bubbles appear. Aunt June, Mara, honey, this seems extreme. Vanessa, she has always been jealous of your relationship with Caleb. My cousin Paige, wait, whose name is on the deed? No one answered Paige, so I did. Mine. The chat went quiet for almost 3 minutes. Then Caleb wrote, you know what I mean. I wrote back, I do. Then I left the group. That afternoon, my parents came to my apartment. I saw them through the peephole before they knocked. My mother had sunglasses on, even though it was cloudy. My father held the legal notice folded into a tight square, like he could crush it into being less real. I opened the door but left the chain on. My mother's eyes were red. Can we come in? No. She blinked. Mara. You can talk from there. My father stepped closer, the chain pulled tight. Enough, he said. You made your point. I looked at him. No, the notice made my point. I just signed the email. My mother pressed her lips together. We are sorry Lily felt left out. Felt. That word is a little knife. It turns what happened into an emotion instead of an action. She did not feel left out. I said, you left her out. We had guests. You had my house. My mother's face changed, just for a second. The mask slipped and something ugly looked out. You never called it that before. I should have. My father laughed once, without humor. You think because a piece of paper has your name on it, that makes it yours? Yes, I said. That is generally how deeds work. His jaw tightened. We raised you. You did. We sacrificed. You also let my daughter sit outside in the cold while you ate the food she carried in. My mother started crying then, not quietly, not naturally. She turned it on like a faucet, one hand to her chest. It was a mistake, she said. Thanksgiving was stressful. Vanessa's parents were there. Caleb was upset because work has been hard. Everyone was tense. Lily is sensitive. You know she is. I smiled a little. I could not help it. Careful, I said. My mother stopped crying. What? Careful how you talk about my daughter when you are asking me for mercy.
We
That
shouldn't
was
go
when
out
my
there right
father
now.
lowered his voice. If you do this, where are we supposed to go? The old me would have softened. The old me would have started solving the problem. I would have thought about rentals, deposits, moving trucks, my father's blood pressure, my mother's church friends, Caleb's boys. The old me was exhausted. You have 60 days to figure that out. My mother stared at me like I had slapped her. You would really put your own parents on the street? No, I said. I am giving you legal notice to leave a house you have lived in for free for 8 years. We paid bills. You paid cable. She looked away. Sometimes, I added. My father pointed at me. This is Daniel's money making you arrogant. Something in me went perfectly still. Daniel's money bought Lily safety, I said. I let you borrow part of it because I thought family meant something. Yesterday, you explained exactly what family means to you. My mother's mouth trembled. It was one chair. No, I said, it was the last chair. I closed the door. The next 2 weeks were exactly what you would expect from people who had mistaken access for ownership. My mother posted vague things online about children forgetting who loved them first. My father called my boss and got shut down before he reached the second sentence. Caleb sent me a spreadsheet, I am not kidding, a spreadsheet titled Fair Family Schrussel. According to Caleb, I should sign the house into a trust where he would manage it because he was more available locally. My parents would stay indefinitely. Lily and I could use the house for holidays with notice. In exchange, Caleb would forgive my emotional overreaction. I forwarded it to Claire. She replied, "This is my favorite kind of evidence." Then things escalated. One night, at 1:18 a.m., my phone buzzed with a camera alert from the house. I still had the security cameras because I paid for them after someone stole a package from the porch 2 years ago. The video showed Caleb in the driveway, trying to force open the side door to the garage. The garage was not part of my parents' living space. It was locked storage where I kept Daniel's tools, Lily's old bike, and boxes of documents from when she was little. Caleb knew that. He shoved the door twice, swore, looked directly at the camera, and said, "You cannot lock us out of our own garage." Then he kicked the door. I filed a police report. I did not need handcuffs. I needed documentation. Caleb called me the next morning screaming, "You called the cops on me?" I reported attempted forced entry on my property. It is Mom and Dad's house. Then why did the police report list me as the owner? He went quiet. Then he said, "You are enjoying this." I was not. I was sleeping badly. Lily was seeing a counselor. Every time my phone buzzed, my shoulders climbed to my ears. Nothing about this felt fun. But peace is not always gentle when it first arrives. Sometimes peace starts with changing the locks on a garage and saving voicemails in a folder named Evidence. "No," I said, "I am ending it." By the 30-day mark, the family had split into camps. Most people stayed quiet, which is what people do when they want the truth, but not the inconvenience of responding to it. Aunt June called once. I almost did not answer, but curiosity got me. She said, "I did not know the house was yours." Most people did not. "Your mother always made it sound like you helped with paperwork." I helped with every paper, especially the ones with dollar signs. She sighed. "I am sorry about Lily." It was the first real apology anyone had offered. "Thank you." Then she said, "Your parents are telling people you are unstable." Of course they are. "And Caleb is saying Daniel would be ashamed of you." I looked across the room at Lily, curled on the couch with a book and a blanket, finally looking comfortable in her own home. "Daniel would have changed the locks that night," I said. Aunt June did not argue. The final confrontation happened on day 46. Claire had arranged for a property manager to inspect the house because I had decided to sell it, not rent it, not hold it for family, sell it. The proceeds would go into Lily's college fund and a small down payment on a condo closer to my work. My parents found out when the property manager put a lockbox on the side railing. That afternoon, they showed up at my apartment again. This time, Caleb came with them. I almost did not open the door. Then I saw Lily standing behind me in the hallway, chin lifted, eyes steady. "I want to hear it," she said. "You do not have to, I know." So I opened the door. No chain this time. Not because I trusted them, because I was done being afraid of their volume. My mother looked thinner. My father looked older. Caleb looked furious in the puffy, self-important way he gets when reality does not follow his instructions. "You are selling the house," my mother asked. "Yes." "You cannot." "I can." Caleb stepped forward. "Where are they supposed to go? You have a house. We do not have room." I looked at him for a long moment. He did not hear it at first. Then Lily did. She gave a small, humorless laugh. Caleb's face darkened. "That is different." "Of course it is," I said. "It always is when it is you." My father rubbed both hands over his face. "Mara, please, we made mistakes." It was the first time he had said anything close to true. My mother reached toward Lily. "Sweetheart, we never meant to hurt you." Lily stepped back. My mother's hand dropped. Lily's voice was quiet when she spoke. "You told me I was not real family." My mother started to cry. This time, I think some of it was real. I was stressed. Lily nodded slowly. No one said anything after that. There are sentences that end arguments because they are too simple to dodge. Caleb recovered first. He always does when silence threatens to become accountability. "So that is it," he said. "You are going to destroy everyone over Thanksgiving?" I shook my head. "No, I am going to sell my house, because the people living in it taught my daughter she was disposable." "You are punishing Mom and Dad. I am protecting Lily from what, a seating issue?" I laughed once. Not because it was funny. Because he still thought making it sound small would make it small. From people who can eat at a table bought by my overtime, in a house bought with her father's death, and still tell her there is no room. My father looked down. My mother covered her mouth. Caleb had nothing for that. The house sold in 23 days. The market was hot, the maple tree was beautiful, and apparently buyers like homes with updated roofs and a recent water heater. I almost laughed when the realtor mentioned those as selling points. My parents had called those bills family emergencies. The buyers called them value. My parents moved into a 2-bedroom rental across town. Caleb did not take them in. He said the twins needed stability. I wish I could say that surprised me. Vanessa unfriended me online, which was the first gift she ever gave me without asking for a receipt. My father sent one long email that began with disappointment and ended with family should not keep score. I did not respond. My mother mailed Lily a birthday card 3 months later with a check for $50 and a note that said, "We miss you at the table." Lily handed it to me and said, "Can we donate it?" We sent it to the hospital's Family Assistance Fund. A year has passed. Lily is 15 now. She is taller, sharper, less willing to apologize for taking up space. Her therapist says healing is not linear, which is a professional way of saying some days are still ugly. But she laughs more. She has friends over. She picked out a blue comforter for her room in our new condo and put glow-in-the-dark stars on the ceiling, just like the old yellow room. Sometimes I catch her standing in the kitchen, making herself tea, completely at ease. That is what I wanted. Not revenge. Room. My parents still tell people I sold the house out of spite. Caleb tells people grief made me selfish. Maybe my mother tells the story differently at church, with pauses in all the right places and tears that arrive on cue. I do not correct them anymore. The truth is not fragile just because liars talk loudly. I have the deed, I have the notices, I have the voicemails. I have the camera footage, I have the bank records, I have everything I need. But more than that, I have a daughter who knows I chose her. On Thanksgiving this year, we did not go anywhere. We stayed home. Lily made cranberry sauce from scratch and burned it a little. I made turkey breast because neither of us likes dark meat enough to wrestle a whole bird. My neighbor came over with pie. We ate at our small dining table by the window. There were 4 chairs, only 3 were used. The empty one did not feel like rejection, it felt like space. After dinner, Lily leaned back and said, "This was better." I asked, "Better than what?" She looked at me like the answer was obvious. Better than begging for a chair. And that is when I knew I had done the right thing. Maybe some people think I went too far. Maybe they think I should have forgiven my parents because they are old, or because family is complicated, or because Thanksgiving makes everyone emotional. Maybe they think a child should have just sat in the hallway and gotten over it. Those people can have my old seat. I do not need it anymore. My daughter has room now. So do I. And if anyone asks what happened, I keep it simple. They said there was no room for her. I said, understood.
It's nice
Then I
just
made
to
room
sit
for
here
us somewhere
quietly like
else.
this.
Did I go too far or not far enough?